Hey guys, if you're brand new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and definitely ring a ding ding that bell notification button. It helps the channel grow and it helps me bring you guys a lot more. Hey, what's up guys? So I think it's safe to say for the most part Tamashii has been doing quite well so far in terms of giving us characters that we want and executing good designs on the figures for these characters. For the most part. Unfortunately though, what we see in promotional pictures isn't always what we get, or what we get just doesn't match up with the expectations at all. That's right folks, it's time again for us to look at the top 5 worst Dragon Ball figures in the line as of 2019. So back in part 1, I'd say we established some common ground between us collectors in agreeing on most of the figures on that list, and while there were some counterpoints, that list actually hasn't changed that much to date. So rather than starting from scratch, let's take a ladder style approach to recognizing the worst figures you could throw your money at in the line present day. Quick recap of the standings here from last time is as follows. Coming in at number 5, we have the keeper of Beerus the Destroyer himself, Whis. Now in terms of his sculpt, paint apps, and accessories, Whis is by no means the worst. Rather, the reason the figure made this list is that the hard plastic skirt hinders quite a bit of articulation. Now I don't know what some of you will say yet again, and that is, what do you want? He doesn't do backflips and all that. I hear you though. But the point is, put it this way. Would you rather spend a large chunk of cash on an articulated figure with limited articulation, or spend about half that on a figurine or statue that is in a pose you like and has a lot more fine detailing on it? I don't know about you guys, but in hindsight, I probably would have gone with the latter. I'm sure there's some customs out there who have the skirt replaced with cloth by now, and I'd actually like to see that for those of you who've done that, but Whis holds the number 5 spot on this list. Will he get moved? Watch and find out. So at number 4 on the list, we have PC Super Saiyan Vegeta. Granted, we've had much better variations of Vegeta come out since this figure's release, and let's recap the reasons he made it on here anyways. You guys know how I feel about the honey mustard hair, and I hear those of you who say it's based on the manga, but hey, you name a figure premium color, I think of its relation to the anime, arguably the more popular of the source materials between itself and the manga. Aside from the hair color, the fact that he comes with nothing accessory-wise was also a letdown. The only saving grace here was the fact that we didn't have to go and pay an extensive amount for the OG Vegeta, and we could still swap heads on and off this figure. So at number 3, just like his dad, PC Trunks was crapping the bed the minute he woke up from being dreamt up back at Tamashii's headquarters. Might as well put this guy in a straitjacket with the amount of articulation he lacks across the arms in general. Now aside from the same hair coloring issues as PC Vegeta, this figure is so bad in terms of quality control and issues with his sword peg snapping off, which unfortunately has finally happened to mine. Chalk it up to rush negligence if you will, but a figure costing as much as these do shouldn't be as accident prone, right? Second to that, we have lost out on a couple of accessories with this guy, and to bottom it all out, we've since received a few other Trunks figures that arguably make this guy's existence obsolete. Sorry PC Trunks, you just got maxed out. Now at number 2, we had 1.0 Super Saiyan Gohan, and let me tell you, I don't think I've taken this guy out of the box since I made part 1 of this video. In terms of articulation, he was just plain loose. Good luck not only getting this guy to stand up in a Kamehameha pose, but just getting him to do anything involving his legs kicking or squatting in general. Not to mention the faded out looking paint. Again, I'm all for the manga representation, but no, this just doesn't work. And of course guys, at number 1 we had 1.0 Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Almost the holy grail of bad Dragon Ball Figuarts figures. I don't think I need to say much of a recap on why he's on the list here. So with that out of the way, let's see who our challenges are and whether or not they'll derail the standings with their arrival. Candidate number 1 is a figure I initially liked a lot, but really guys, I think it was just me more trying to convince myself that the money I spent on him was actually worth it. And that is the almighty Shenron. Seriously, looking at this figure again, there is quite a bit of lacklusterness going on here. Most recently when Tamashii brought their decked out shaded version of the Eternal Dragon on tour with them. I know we got jibbed. How are you gonna slap us in the face like that? Guess I know what I'm not gonna do next time a big dragon figure is announced. Aside from this, Shenron suffers from the same point I made about Whis, in that, yes, he is articulated, but for the price point, you're better off looking for a statue or figurine that fits a little bit more to your liking scale-wise, and actually has a lot more detail on it for the money you're paying. And did I mention how damn frustrating it is to move this guy? I don't know whether I should just leave him where he is half the time or use the Dragon Balls to wish that he doesn't topple over after I close the door. Sheesh. And with that, ladies and gents, I'm giving Whis' spot to Shenron. At least Whis, for 1, I can fit him into any display, and 2, Whis comes with a lot of accessories to make up for that shafted articulation. Next up is a figure who I think let us down the hardest in terms of meeting our expectations, and that is Majin Vegeta. Can you blame us, Tamashii? Majin Vegeta was such a great character. What's more is that he was going to be our first representation of Vegeta post-Cell game, something of which I was very much looking forward to. Between things like his most commonly remembered Super Saiyan 2 form to the crazy amount of vascularity and muscle definition to the dark blue jumpsuit, this figure was sure to kill when it arrived. Except we pretty much just got one of those things, being a few popping veins here and there and a big M stamp over the Super Vegeta head sculpt. Cool. The jumpsuit was just way too light, unshaded, and the figure as a whole was uncharacteristic, something Majin Vegeta arguably displays a lot of, more than in the Cell games. In addition, this was probably Tamashii's biggest screw up QC-wise because two faceplates ended up being pretty much identical. Oops! Yeah, pretty hard to come back from that one. Did we get any subsidization for this though? Meh, not really. No other accessories, no battle damage looked, nothing. The biggest saving grace of this figure is that you can swap out the head to have a different Buu Saga look for Super Saiyan or base Vegeta, but that's about it. So while it didn't suffer articulation wise, it did not live up to the hype at all, and is arguably a regrettable expense in many fans' collections. So where does Majin Vegeta fit in our list? Well, I still think he's a better figure than PC Vegeta and Trunks bottom line, and actually even more than Shenron in terms of what you can do with him to redeem him. Yes, you can arguably custom shade him as well as Shenron, but at the end of the day, Majin Vegeta can move a lot more, so he's taken the number 5 spot, which pushes Shenron up the ladder to number 4. To make this smoother, I think we can all agree that Super Saiyan 3 Goku 1.0 has solidified his status as one of the worst and biggest atrocities in the line. With that, I'm game to give him the crown as a legendary worst so that we can focus on the body of this list. I'm also pushing PC Trunks up to number 2 and 1.0 Gohan down to number 3 with Vegeta, based on the fact that we not only have aesthetic and articulation problems with this figure, but just issues with the figure staying intact as well. Now with this recent shift, you might be saying, wait, you're saying Majin Vegeta is actually a worse figure than Whis? Well, again, from the perspective that at least with Whis, we could take what we got with the aesthetics. Compared to all the preconceived ideas we had in our heads for Majin Vegeta and how he should look, yes, I'm standing by this point. Ultimately, I spent money on Vegeta figures already, and to do that again for a disappointment is a bigger loss than spending money on just one Whis figure. So my next challengers are being brought in as a duo, and actually the reason they're on here is majorly for you guys, the subscribers who let me know your thoughts on them, and those figures are this year's event exclusives Golden Frieza and Gohan. Now while I don't have either, I do have a couple comments to make here. With Golden Frieza, I think the original just did it better. For one, they should have waited to release a 2.0 Golden Frieza with an updated scale and better paint apps instead of using him for an exclusive. Things like the OG actually having the difference in gold shading on the arms and legs as opposed to the body are just an example of the shortcomings of this new event exclusive has to offer. However, do I think this is a bad enough figure that it would knock any of our current placeholders off? Not necessarily. Maybe Majin Vegeta, but I don't feel strongly enough to make that move. Next up, of course, is the event exclusive Gohan. Oh, Gohan, never a dull moment. Why on earth would you choose to release this as an event exclusive when we just got Great Saiyan Man this year, who mops the floor with this figure? Why? Was somebody begging for this? Was it just a product of lazy thinking? I'm sure the figure has its own fan following, which I'm not trying to offend by any means, but seriously, why spend money on this thing? Go out and buy Great Saiyan Man instead, please. Do us all a favor. We got hit with a 1.0 body on more relevant versions of characters with Vegito Blue last year. Let's not support this trend again, guys. Alright, rant done. But again, is this a worse figure than any of our current placeholders? Certainly not the top 3, that's for sure. I'm more inclined to give this guy again Majin Vegeta's spot, but I'm not sure. Actually, you know what? I think I will. Just because you can at least swap different 2.0 heads with Majin Vegeta and customize them a bit more. With Gohan though, you're stuck with what you have, and you can probably swap out the OG Ultimate Gohan head onto this guy, but why would you want to? Again, go forth with the times, my friends, and get Great Saiyan Man instead and swap the head onto a Goku body if you must for now. All in all, this exclusive doesn't make sense to me, and most likely just Tamashii just trying to capitalize on a tournament of power and new fans coming into the line. Alright, so before we recap out the new pecking order of trashy figures, I'll give you a few honorable mentions. First up is Gotenks. Next is Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta 1.0. And then we got the Xenoverse figures on here just because I personally don't care for them. Yeah, I'm just feeling savage today. Go ahead and comment what you will about that. And now for the new refresh standings. At number 5, we have the Boy Wonder himself, event exclusive 2019 Ultimate Gohan. At number 4 is the almighty Shenron. I bet he wishes otherwise though. At number 3 are PC Vegeta and 1.0 Gohan. At number 2 is PC Trunks, and of course, at number 1, still holding its place, is Super Saiyan 3 Goku 1.0. I'd hate to see the day we actually take this guy out of the number 1 spot for somebody else. But there you have it guys, my updated take on the top 5 worst Dragon Ball Figuarts. It probably isn't 100% accurate for everybody, but I hope I once again justified my points where they were necessary. But of course, I'm interested in hearing your guys' thoughts. Let me know in the comments below, and you know what I always say. May the best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows. Peace.